That is Kootenai County, Idaho Sheriff Bob Norris, and he's upholding a woman's right to freely speak in public.
You out now!
You
out now! Let's go!
This man is assaulting me!
Oops, wrong clip. Now, just between you and me, Bob's got a little secret that Los Angeles County really needs to know about. But we'll get back to that in a second. In a time where people all over America are being shut down at town hall meetings, North Korea style, we have yet another situation that didn't need to happen in Idaho. As a result, the security firm whose members dragged a woman out of a town hall have lost their license to operate within the town of Coeur d'Alene.
All right, hold on one moment here. Okay, again, you folks who are just popping off with stupid remarks, you're not taking into account the people sitting next to you. There's a bunch of people that came here to hear them. There's an opportunity for you to sound off, but not right now. And because you're not smart enough to know that, you're just crazy people. And what we're doing right now is just pausing while we test. Get them out. If you can't be civil, get out.
Get up or be arrested.
So you know, folks, when our nation began, there was some really
You're gonna arrest her?
No, I'm not recognizing you.
What would you like to do?
So, yes, we're going to get to him. We're going to get to him. I promise. We'll get
Yes, it is.
plenty of chances.
This is not a negotiation.
But, you know, the problem is the folks... Oh,
I'm telling you to leave.
look at that. Oh, he's showing how intelligent he is
You too.
with all the
Leave the
fine
answer.
words he's asking. This was the mission. They came here to disrupt so that the citizens can't hear. The reality is there's a whole bunch of great things that are happening. The problem is we got a bunch of rabble-rousers who just won't allow it to be spoken. So, you know, the thing is, what I'm doing up here is I'm simply over-talking you because your voice is meaningless right now. And we're just taking care of the rabble-rousers. And eventually what's going to happen is everything's going to settle down and we'll get back to hearing the legislators. Because really, you didn't come here to listen to me. I just happen to have a nice loud voice and a big microphone. And I can talk over all of you. And I can just talk for on and on and on. And look at this. This little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up, and now she doesn't want to suffer the consequences. Isn't that the problem that we're struggling with so many of the kids today? Is they want to behave poorly and then not struggle with the consequences.
3 workers for Lear Asset Management forcibly removed Dr. Teresa Borenpol from a Kootenai County Republican Central Committee town hall meeting in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, after being directed to do so by Constitution-trampling Kootenai County Sheriff Bob Norris. Now, Bob here is not too bright. You'd think he'd want to kind of keep a low profile and not draw any unnecessary attention to himself. Because you see, Bob is a former LA County lieutenant who now serves as a sheriff over there in Idaho. The problem is, Bob is receiving disability pay from Los Angeles while showing the world via viral video that he's not disabled enough to help drag a woman out of an auditorium for exercising free speech in a public forum. The Transparent California website shows that Bob is drawing a retirement and over $150,000 in disabilities, a benefit only granted to those who have submitted medical confirmation of incapacitation. Now, does Bob look incapacitated to you? Dr. Teresa Borenpol was briefly hospitalized after being forced to the ground by the private security guards and has now raised over $320,000 for her legal fees. Dr. Borenpol was threatened with arrest before being forcibly removed from the town hall after speaking up to ask whether the event was a lecture or a town hall. She, her supporters, and Coeur d'Alene Police Chief Lee White have all said that the actions of Lear Asset Management violated Dr. Borenpole's First Amendment right to freedom of speech. And some people in America see Lear losing their business license as a win for people dedicated to maintaining the First Amendment, especially in this past week that has been filled with angry constituents asking the Republican members of Congress about Elon Musk's role in the federal government. A lot of people pissed off about that, it seems.
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal government. But he is also, I think, doing an effective job.
Conflict of interest! Show me!
I know there are a lot of people who don't want to see waste, abuse, and fraud weeded out. Some of them here today.
I don't want him in charge of it.
But he is appointed by the president, who's the chief executive, who can appoint whoever he can appoint you.
I thought it was your job. It is your job.
Elon Musk and the president have agreed that if there is any potential conflict of interest,
It is your job.
and it's clear today that some people don't believe that would happen. And that's okay.
It is your job.
In the next election, to elect someone that you believe.
We didn't elect Elon. Remember your oath.
Lear Asset Management, the Kootenai Sheriff's Department, and the Coeur d'Alene Police Department have all been contacted via email for comment. Now, here's what we need to know. On February 22nd, Dr. Borenpole was with a group of people protesting Medicaid cuts and other Republican policies at the Coeur d'Alene Town Hall. When she, by her own admission, spoke out of turn to ask about the nature of the event, Sheriff Norris threatened to arrest her and then summoned 3 unnamed and unmarked private security guards to carry her out of the premises. In a viral video of the altercation, Dr. Borenpole can be seen asking multiple times who the men are, with them refusing to answer.
That is shameful. I think what we've got right now is a situation where these folks are trying to filibuster and shut this whole program down. Unfortunately, they're being successful. So all of you who came here to hear the legislators, I applaud you for sitting there and quietly listening. I promise we will get back to you. In the meantime, we've just got to be a little aggressive with some of these folks here.
I will call the
Here. Oh, no, I shouldn't be removed. I should be allowed to cry and yell and scream. I should be able to allow to interrupt.
Let's go. Don't touch her. This is excuse me, Sheriff Norris. This gentleman is assaulting me.
You out
this
now.
man is
You
assaulting
out
me.
now. Let's go.
This man is assaulting me.
You
Is this
out
your
now.
deputy? Is this your deputy? No, don't fucking touch us. Is he a deputy? These are deputies. Who the fuck are these men?
So how about that? Come on, Musk.
Hey.
It's too bad.
The Coeur d'Alene Police Department have now stated that Lear had lost their business licenses revoked for, quote, violating Coeur d'Alene city ordinances regarding security agencies and agents, which is City Code 5.32. These ordinances state, quote, uniforms worn by security guards must be clearly marked with the word security in letters no less than 1 inch tall on the front of the uniform and no less than 4 inches tall on the back of the uniform. They also state, quote, when it appears that a license has violated any provision of this chapter, any ordinance of the city or statute of the state or United States involving violence or threat of violence or a crime of moral turpitude, the license shall be revoked. But people have to come to grips with the fact that it's very clear that Sheriff Norris directed the men from Lear to seize Borenpole, after which he told the Idaho Statesman that he didn't know the security personnel. Norris also told the Statesman that the actions of the security guards were in keeping with the event's protocols, but he didn't explain what those protocols were. Under Sheriff Brad Nelson said in a press release that no deputy sheriffs were involved in the incident and that the sheriff's office is having a, quote, complete and independent investigation of the incident completed by an outside agency. I don't think we'll be holding our breath to find out what the results of that investigation actually are. Throughout the commotion, the town hall moderator, Ed Ben-Harana, called Dr. Borenpol a little girl and said she was facing the consequences for her actions. Her actions were asking questions at a town hall event. So what North Korea-style consequences does Ed think should befall an American who exercises a constitutionally protected right? Coeur d'Alene police were outside of the venue due to an unrelated threat against Representative Jordan Redmond, but said that they were not made aware of the commotion inside. I'm not one of those people who are inclined to believe any statement put out by any police department. While being dragged out, Dr. Borenpol bit one of her assailants. She was initially given a battery citation, but this charge has now been removed by the city prosecuting attorney's office. Coeur d'Alene Police Department on Facebook said, quote, the Coeur d'Alene Police Department recognizes and values all rights afforded by the United States Constitution to all citizens, including the right to free speech. This is a complex incident, and detectives continue to work through all aspects of the investigation. More information will be released when it becomes available. The Idaho Democratic Party said, quote, our democracy rests upon our First Amendment rights. It's a very sad day when a woman who voices dissent is forcibly dragged out of a public venue by unidentified men while the event moderator belittles and taunts her. Idaho deserves better. Alice Abbott wrote on the GoFundMe, quote, no American should fear being carted away by an unnamed paramilitary force without cause. The protection of our freedoms, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and the right to be free from unlawful detention should never be taken for granted. Dr. Borenpol is not just fighting for herself, she is fighting for every one of us. Apparently, what can happen next is Lear can appeal their business license removal to the city clerk within 10 days of its revocation, and then they can attend a hearing with the city council to review their license. Now, it's unknown at this time whether Borenpol will launch a civil rights lawsuit against those involved in removing her from the town hall. And her GoFundMe for potential legal funds has risen far above its $30,000 goal and now sits at over $322,000. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. Do you think it was right for Sheriff Bob Norris to call for a bunch of thugs to remove a woman from a city town hall meeting simply for exercising her freedom of speech? And speaking of Bob, should he be drawing disability from anywhere in the country when he's clearly not disabled? Share this video with everybody you know. Like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification icon if you want to support the channel further. Become a channel member or grab a hard-hitting conversation starting shirt. Remember, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. And indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. Let's stop securing our own oppression, and let's stop today. I will see you in the next video.